baby, you know what it is, daddy. You already know. Chris Petrone weekly episode. Hold the phone. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Don't touch that dial. Don't you touch that dial. I'll kill you. I'll come to your house and strangle you. Sensually, it's episode 20. Fuck, I literally just looked and I forgot. It's episode 27 of the Chris Petrone. We're gonna wing it. It's episode 27 of the Chris Petrone Weekly Podcast. We got the Patreons down below. Some of them are actually not Patreons anymore. I think like 5 people canceled their subscription in February. Whatever. Hey, it's all good. I understand. It happens. I understand. All right. You guys don't owe me anything, you know? Those of you who continue supporting me, I fucking love you. If you supported me for a little while and then you stopped, hey, I fucking love you too. All right. It's all good, baby. It's all good. Things change. Sometimes people are like, hey, Chris, I thought he was really great for a couple months. And then I was like, nah. Then I stopped watching his content because I just kind of got, on to the next thing. I get it, man. I used to love Riverdale. I don't really care if a new season comes out anymore. I'm over it. Some of you might be over me. I get it. But anyway, it's episode 27. And hey man, I love you guys. Let's just shout out a few of these beautiful Patreons. Yo, Abby, Megan, Kayla, Taylor, Lauren, Kate, Kat D. Love you guys. Cheska May, Haley. Anyway, love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me and paying my bills. I'm thinking about a move to St. Pete, Florida. I'm thinking about it. The hair is wild. I don't give a fuck. I'm not touching it. I touch my hair too much. I need to just accept it for what it is, and sometimes in life, man, that's what we got to do, baby. That's what we got to do. We got the bandana to hold the hair out of my face and to hide the 5 head because that's how many heads I have. 5 of them, and they're all on my face, unfortunately. Yeah, man, I'm thinking a lot about a lot of stuff. Fashion, hey, man, I'm moving to Florida. All right, it's going to be like an average of 70-something degrees throughout the year. 80s. 90s would not be unheard of. So listen, man, I'm trying to get some summer outfits going on. Maybe some of those 5.5-inch inseam shorts. I don't know. Maybe some white slip-on Vans with some no-show socks. How does that make you feel? Nicole, maybe some white no-show socks, just because I know you love white socks. I don't know. Picture this. Cool gray short sleeve button down, tucked into white 5.5-inch inseam shorts with a brown belt that matches my brown watch. White slip-on Vans with no-show socks. And a cool pair of shades. Ooh. And a fresh fade up the side. Just a front-facing messy hairstyle with a sick fade going up the sides and back. Come on, daddy. Spank me. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking bend me over the pier, because we're in Florida, and spank me. Maybe I'll see a fucking damn dolphin, scooching up over the sunset. I don't know what I'll see. Hey, let's switch up. Hold on. Let's get tropical. Because the color, I know some of you listen, some of you watch, but let's get tropical twilight in the background instead of whatever freaking color we're working with now. I like this. I don't want a tropical twilight. I changed my mind. We're going to go with relax. We're switching right back. And that's the way I like it. It's episode 27 of the Chris Petrone Weekly Podcast. Ryan was supposed to join us. He is not feeling well. He has strep throat. He thinks. Or maybe it was diagnosed. I don't know. He has strep throat. He's ripping those antibiotics. Emphasis on the dicks, And he's just guzzling that down his throat. Hey, shoot him a text. Shoot Ryan a DM and say, hey, man, I heard you were ripping the dicks down your throat. The antibiotics, to be precise. And see what he says to that. Big shout out to Theo Vaughn. Love your podcast, bro. This past weekend with Theo Vaughn, we're drinking some hot water with a lime wedge because, hey, man, sometimes we like to get a little citrus inside of us. Tomorrow I'm going to go shopping. I have to get some easily meal preppable things. I want to be a lot more conscious on my spending on food. Not that I'm spending a lot on food, but that I sometimes order out when I probably didn't need to, because I could have prepared better. I could have said to myself, hey, I should probably have stuff that's an easy reheat. or an easy sandwich to make or something that would have helped. I don't know. We'll see. I think I need more of those sorts of things in my life. Maybe I'll get some turkey. Maybe I'll get some cold cuts. I don't know. Sorry if you could hear that burp. You know, cook a damn thing of rice in the beginning of the week, and then you have some rice for your meals. You know, I got some apples. I got some blueberries. I got some non-fat vanilla Greek yogurt, which is good, man. You're getting those probies, those probiotics up in your gullet. You know, you're getting some good old teen. You're putting some teen inside you. That's that protein. Don't get it twisted. You know, and it tastes good, man. It tastes good. So we call that the Freaky Five. That's the first 5 minutes of the podcast. I'm starting that. We're coining that term now. And you might put some carrots in your fridge, man. They might dangle that carrot in front of you. You know, they're gonna dangle that carrot in front of you in life, and they're gonna say, "Hey, man, we want you to do this. We want you to be this way. You know, we want you to say this in your content." You know what I say to that? No, sir. I got my own carrots. I'm good. You know, I got my own carrots in the fridge, so I don't need you to dangle, you know, this in front of my face, man. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna do me. Chapel Hill, North Carolina. We're looking at a temperature of in the 50s today. We had a couple nice days this weekend. Temperature wise, it was a little rainy, but good temperatures, high 60s. And so that feels good. You know, sometimes you get that kind of weather in March. I mean, honestly, wintertime in North Carolina is December to February, really. And it's March 1st tonight. It is March 1st. So, you know, really, we're kind of over winter. You know, it's over pretty much for us North Carolinians out here. And am I a North Carolinian? I don't know. Maybe so. Maybe so. You know, I'm a Long Island guy. I'm a Long Island suburb kind of guy. But I feel a little bit North Carolinian now. You know, maybe that 80-20 blend. And I feel like, you know, part of me is in Florida too, man. I'm that East Coast bad boy, really, when you think about it. I'm that East Coast poppy. So I'm just, that's self-proclaimed. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. I had some of you guys send me gifts. I have another gift video to record. First of all, I have a mail opening video that I think I posted, actually. I'm pretty sure I posted it like last week or something. And I have a new mail opening video that I have to record tomorrow, maybe. Tomorrow I'm going to go shopping for groceries. And I'm going to record a mail opening video. And I'm going to make a couple TikToks. I'm going to post on the OnlyFans. We got to get the OnlyFans cooking. My goal is to post 4 to 6 times a month on the OnlyFans. You know, just so it's somewhat active. It's not going to be like my main, you know, let me post every day or anything. But we'll say, hey man, it might become that. You never know. I would like to go live on there. I think that would be nice to see how that all works out. You know, I'm not 100% sure how that's going to go, but we could try that. And really, I want, you know, I've been thinking a lot about where I'm going to live and cost. And, you know, I want to reduce expenses, but at the same time, I also want to, like, I don't want to go backwards either. Not that I'm afraid to go back, but like, for example, I don't want to live like in a situation like last year, I was in a house with 4 other people and we were paying like $300 something bucks each a month, which is dirt cheap for rent. But also, it just wasn't the most ideal living situation. I really couldn't do what I do now if I was in that house, you know, in terms of the freedom and stuff. So I think I still want to live alone, but you can find some reasonably affordable options for 1 bedrooms. So I'm going to be looking into that. And I don't want to buy a home yet. I want to make sure I do my research and figure out. I'm still in the travel, like transient kind of point in my life, man. I'm in my 20s, you know. And while I do want to dig some roots, I don't want to, you know, anchor myself into a location either. So I'm thinking about going to St. Pete, and I would love to maybe take some dance classes, join a volleyball, like casual, like, I don't know, pickup game group or something, like, go to local bars and maybe be a regular, you know, have some friends and feel like I'm part of the local community and culture. See some live music. Like I want to have a life like that again, man. And man, COVID's made it tough for everybody, I think. But I would like to kind of re-enter the social life that I was beginning to really enjoy here in Chapel Hill. But I'm going to do that down in St. Petersburg, Florida. Probably, I mean, I might change my mind and go somewhere else, but we'll see. I'm going to drive on down there in probably sometime in March. So I'm going to get a real feel for where I'm going to move. You know, I'm going to maybe even tour a few apartments. We'll see. That could be cool. Get a little apartment tour going on, you know. But I'm going to take it really seriously, man. I'm going to really, really do a deep dive. And I think it's going to take me, like, I spent a few hours this weekend sitting on my laptop and looking into cities and stuff. And I think when you make a move, for me, man, I'm a big planner. Sometimes my more spontaneous side gets the best of me, but overall I like to plan and I like to be very meticulous about my living space. And I like to map out, okay, where's the bar that I'm going to frequent? Where's the grocery store that I'm going to go to? And really map out what is my day-to-day life going to look like? And okay, should I want to go to the beach? What does that drive look like? How long is the drive? Where do I, and like really just get down to the nitty-gritty of it all. So that takes time, man. You know, it takes time when you're planning on moving to a new place. And a lot of people, I think, maybe go somewhere for a school and they're just like, oh, well, I got accepted here, so I'm going to go there. Okay, go. Or I got a job in this city, so I'm going to move to this city. And that's nice in a way because it takes away some layers of overthinking. You know, you have less to think about. You already know because, well, I got this job over here, so I'm going to this city. For me, when you work completely online, it's like, okay, literally I can go anywhere. So that's a great thing, but it adds a lot more work for yourself. Because look, I could just pick up and move to some random city and get a year lease, an 8-month lease or whatever. But that's just not really how I roll. Because I genuinely feel like if you fail to plan, you plan to fail in life, man. And so some of that spontaneity kind of got kicked out of me, I think, over the years when you try to be super spontaneous and you run into a brick wall. And it kind of comes back to bite you in the ass. I think spontaneity is good, but you need to be a little bit calculated. You don't have to over plan everything. But man, for me to just pick up and move to the first apartment that feels right to me, that is not unlike me. That is 100% something I would do. But also, it's probably not the smartest move, right? So I'm looking into a few places. And man, the weather's going to be nice. One thing I was looking at some places down there. Bars, restaurants, shops. And a lot of them on Google said permanently closed. And I would imagine that it's like that in a lot of places across the country and probably across the world, you know, where COVID kind of came, wreaked some of its havoc and things had to close down permanently. Not ideal, but it is what it is, man. I'll get some boots on the ground and figure it all out. I made 3 TikToks today. That felt good. I'll probably make one more. I haven't posted them. I'm going to post one today, maybe 2. But what I'd like to do is really just make a lot of TikToks and have not a stockpile, because I don't think that you can completely just stockpile up content and continue to release it, because as new trends come out, as new features come out, like you need to be able to do that stuff and kind of stay spontaneous with it all and continuously create. So TikTok's not one of those platforms where you can easily make 30 TikToks and just post them one a day throughout the month. You know, make them all on a Saturday. Like, you can, but you're running the risk of, okay, maybe missing out on some trends, maybe missing out on some pop, hot audios or stuff like that. So I'm trying to do a healthy balance of stocking up on a few TikToks, but not stocking up on all the TikToks. I want to continually, hey, you guys tag me and stuff all the time. You mention me in videos and I go and look at it. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta do at this right now, or I gotta stitch this right now. And I do that frequently. I do that all the time. So continue doing that for real. It's a good time. I like it. I appreciate it. and I'm going to continue posting. I'm going to continue doing what I do, man. We're on the road to 1 milli, baby. So we're at 614.7K, I think. Let me check TikTok right now. I think that's the official number. Let's see. $614.7K. That's real nice, man. It's real nice. And I think it's really, really crazy going from 200 to 600 in like a week. And so, hey man, that's a growth of 400. If we go viral again, we can get to 1 milli. I hope we do. If you average it out, it's been about 100,000 followers per month since I really started to get views. But of course, that's not how it works. TikTok is one of those things where you don't really grow on a gradual, consistent basis. It's like you have a video that pops, boom, you get a large influx of people to the community. And that's interesting, but it serves as kind of a reminder that you need to be constantly creating. And, if you take any sort of extended period of off time from creating TikToks, you might see the effects of that. The good news is though, you can jump back on the wagon, make a TikTok that works, boom, and you get, 300K views on that, and then you're back in business. So, I think it all depends on how you look at it. But Patreon Live this month and Patreon Hangout this month are going to be probably the 15th. That's a Monday. That'll be the Patreon Hangout, I want to say. Don't quote me on this, but that's what I'm thinking. And then maybe the 14th will be the Patreon Live. I'm not 100% sure yet, but that's what I'm kind of thinking. We'll see. We'll see. We'll feel it out. And I'd like to spend some time in the Discord outside of those as well, just to continue connecting with you guys and getting closer and just being homies, and kicking it with my homies. And I think, kind of the thing that happened with the community, especially the Discord, is that many of you guys have clicked and become friends outside of interacting with me, which I think is great. And I like the fact that the Discord can be something where you guys can interact without the necessity for me being tied to it, And it can just be this thing where it's like, all right, I don't know, I'm making up two names. Jane and Megan, let's just say, can kick it and be friends and hang out, maybe they're chatting, maybe they exchange Snapchats or whatever. And that's happened with a lot of you guys, and it feels real good. So cheers to that, man. Cheers to that. Oh man. Yeah, I saw a few TikToks today, man. I got tagged in some, and one of them was about like a little bit of post-nut clarity, which is something we talk about sometimes. And it was like, okay, after that, do you find the girl ugly? And like it's basically asking the guys. The answer is no. So there's a difference between finding someone ugly and then like for post-nut clarity, and then post-nut clarity of like just not having any sort of sexual thoughts in your mind at all. So what happens, this is my experience, maybe some other guys can corroborate this, but basically, like, 2 minutes beforehand, let's just say I'm picking a random number, before it, the nut, you're thinking all the horrible, you're thinking some horrible things. You're like, hey man, finger in the butt, spit on my face, like do all these things. You're getting really nasty, right? And the second you finish, you're like, all right, you need to like go away. I'm going to go do my taxes. Like, don't look at me. Go away. Leave me alone. Your mind goes completely anywhere but sex. It goes straight into work mode or food mode or relaxation mode, but it's like, don't you come over. No, space. Don't cuddle me. I need to breathe. I need my space. I need my air. I need to go eat something. I'm going to chug this entire water bottle, and then I'm going to go edit a YouTube video. Like, you can be in the same room as me. Go sit over there. Go on your phone. Good. And that's kind of how we feel. Post nut. But that's not to say you find your partner ugly then. It's just say that you don't you just have zero sex on the mind, like 0%. And you're completely in work mode. I think you guys understand. I think you guys know what I'm saying, man. What has my past week been like? Interesting. I genuinely think I need to go to New York and do a sleep study. I think I need to have people watch me sleep and monitor my sleep and my breathing and stuff, because I don't think I sleep well anymore. And I'm trying to get my sleep schedule back on track. But last night I slept from like 2 a.m. to like 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. And then I fell back asleep around like 8:30, 9. And I woke up at like 1:30. So combined, I guess we're looking at like 8-9 hours, but it was disjointed, and that's been happening the past like week, and it's rough, man. I woke up one night with really bad dry mouth. Like, I don't know why we're talking about my health issues, man. but I think, sleep procrastination for me, like I stay up too late watching Netflix. I think we all do it. I need to make a hard cutoff from my electronics. I need to make a hard cutoff from my live streams. The live streams I'm going to start trying to end around 10:30. I'm wondering if talking this much bears any sort of issue. Like, does that maybe relate to dry mouth at all? Maybe like the fact that I don't get good enough. I don't know. There's a lot that I'm thinking about. But anyway, sleep study. I'm thinking about doing that. I'll be back up in New York. I haven't scheduled it yet, but I would like to schedule it soon. And then I'll be back up in New York for that. Health insurance. I got to get health insurance come May because I'll be 26. I'll be kind of kicked off my family's plan. I'm not sure how that works. I have to do my research, which I have not done yet. We'll see, man. We'll see. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot on my mind, a lot on my mental. And I'm just, man, I'm thinking. He do be thinking, though, You got to think about these things. I want to give a big thank you to Ashley Meredith. Thank you for sending me. I know you sent me a letter today. So I'm going to be opening that on the next mail opening video. I don't know why that just popped into my head, but I wanted to say thank you for that. I think because I looked over here and I see it right there. So thank you. And that's the health portion of the podcast for you guys, man. Ryan was supposed to come on tonight. I told you guys he was sick, which kind of sucks. Massive butthole. And he hit me up. He said to me the other day, he sent me like a TikTok of some healthcare guy, maybe a doctor, I don't know, talking about, I guess this guy talks about different healthcare professions. And the guy was talking about being an ultrasound tech. And he's like, yeah, you make this much, you get a certificate, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, Ryan, the ultrasound tech. And Ryan and I, the reason I bring this up is because Ryan and I talk often about career, future, finances, purpose, all these things. And I think it's really easy to find yourself in life in this bucket of making maybe not a great, crazy amount of money with little idea of how to escape that rhythm. Maybe a lot of people fall into a career. I don't want to say fall into as if it's some negative thing, because this can be beautiful. But let's say you make $40,000 a year. That absolutely can be a very livable salary for many people. But let's say, I think there's often, you can fall into this thought of feeling hopeless or trapped, or like maybe there's no path forward for you. And I think it's important to position ourselves in such a way that we have a path forward, And I think that's what Ryan is trying to do right now. He's in a position that maybe many of you can relate to, where he's in college, doesn't really have income, isn't exactly sure what he wants to do with his life or where his degree is going to lead him. And I think he feels a lot of uncertainty, maybe a lack of a path. And that can be super, super crippling for people. I think as humans, we like to have purpose, or at least a sense of direction. And for especially people who maybe don't choose a traditional path, sense of direction is something that's hard to find. You almost have to make it up on your own. It's something I think about a lot still, even to this day. As I think about renting a property, I think, will this last? Will I be able to continue being a content creator on the internet? I feel that I'm just getting started. But it's also, I think you have to be. I was listening to a podcast just about an hour ago when I ran to the UPS store and stuff. And the guest on the podcast was saying, the guest was a comedian, and he was saying that when you're a comedian, you have to accept a certain level of risk in your life. You have to accept, like, if you've chosen that as your path, you have to accept that it's hard, and there's going to be uncertainty. There's going to be risk in money and future and career and all, in all that. So I feel a little bit of that being someone who's not a comedian, but in something that's kind of self-employed, the creative space. I definitely related to that when he said you have to accept a certain level of risk. And I think for me, someone who gets overwhelmed and stressed out easily, accepting the risk of maybe not having money or not making money, it's scary. So it's just one more thing to think about, I don't know. And I don't know, man, as I look at places, I find places that are really, really perfect location. Because here's the thing. When you're looking for a place to live, there's so much that you might not want to waver on. Safety or maintenance issues. Because another thing is you might spend extra money on things that you never anticipated. And if you would have just paid a little bit of a higher rent, you might have gotten all those things taken care of for you in a sense. But now you're picking up the pieces. There's this phrase that says buy it right or buy it twice or something like that. And it's basically, if you try to cheap out and undercut things, you might wind up having to just buy the real thing later on because you tried to get the knockoff. So I apply that a little bit to apartment hunting, and I apply it to a lot of things, honestly. But I think that's important to think about too. What do you guys think? How does it make you feel? On the flip side, I don't want to be spending too much money on rent. I just feel like, man, where you live is important. But I also, I want to be smart, man. I want to be smart. I really do. But that's all right. Let's go to some Q&A here. All right. Got a question from Jamie, 1667. When did you first start keeping tampons in your home for your guests? Was it your own idea or was the thought from someone else? We may have answered this on a podcast already, but I got the most likes in my Q&A section on my TikTok, and I think I'm going to make a TikTok answering that question. But for me, I'll try to answer it in a different way than I usually do. I was in the home, my previous home, over on J Street in Chapel Hill, and I was living with 4 others, and I think I was in the bathroom, and I was listening to these videos on YouTube. I had the phone in my pocket while I had headphones in or whatever, and I was just listening to videos. And the videos were like those Reddit videos on YouTube where they have like a voice read the questions from Reddit or the answers from Reddit, and they compile it into a video. And the video was something like life tips for living on your own, or life tips that no one ever taught you, or blah, blah, blah. And I'm listening to the answers, and at one point, the guy said, he read one answer that said, hey, single guys out there or bachelors, whatever, it's a good idea to keep tampons in your bathroom. Think about when girls might be like, oh, can I borrow a tampon? Or they get their period unexpectedly. Like that sort of thing happens. So if you have tampons at your house, anyone who's a guest, especially if you're a social person or you have parties or whatever, they'll be taken care of, and you'll at least have they're back in a sense. Because that's a shitty position to be in, and I'm just an uncomfy position to be in, you know? So I was like, hey, man, this is cool. I like that. I'm going to do that. So I did it. And there were some other life hacks that I kind of took into consideration and whatnot. Man, I'm just thinking, I'm kind of going down memory lane here of being at that previous house that I was at. My desk was a fold out Walmart like beer pong table. It was all black, so it looked a little bit classier than like the beige ones. But it was basically a beer pong table, a plastic fold out beer pong table. That was my desk where I had my computer, you know. The bed frame, which is actually still the bed frame I have now, is the cheap Walmart one, which is fine, but maybe not ideal for the long term. You know, my drawers were plastic. It just wasn't a very permanent solution, and I think I did. I kind of made a couple mistakes. So in this apartment here in Chapel Hill, I have a coffee table that's really fucking heavy. It's like marble. I don't even know what it's made out of. It wasn't super expensive, but it's heavy. And I don't know how they got it up the stairs to my door, but it's here now. So that's that. I don't know how I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to have to sell it or something. The couch I have is a solid couch. It's probably a little too big for this apartment. I'm probably going to wind up selling it. But it's a nice couch. You know, it's a nice couch. I don't know, dude. I didn't really think that stuff through, I'll be honest. I could have done my living room a lot better here, but there's lessons learned, you know? And when I move into my next apartment, it's going to be smaller than this one, probably, by maybe 100 or 200 square feet, which is, it's going to be interesting. But it's fine. I'll do it better. My next apartment might be smaller, but I think it's going to feel like more of a home. You know, I'm going to make sure I plan out the decorations right and stuff. And this entire experience being here in North Carolina for me was on a whim. You know, I didn't really plan out much of it at all. And even moving into this apartment complex, I just didn't really think it through fully. You know, I was sick of living at the apartment, at the house I was at. And something told me like, all right, it's time. Get up and go. You got to go. So I started touring apartments in the area. I went on down and I signed the lease that day. You know, I toured the apartment, signed the lease, and the woman was like, dude, you are the fastest lease I think I've ever seen. And I was like, yeah. And that was the spontaneous Chris coming out. And I don't regret it. Like, I really enjoyed this apartment. But I know that this next move is going to be a little bit more permanent. I'm going to do it right. And that's where the planning comes into play. And that's why I'm thinking so much about the planning and thinking so much about, you know, how much I'm going to pay, where I'm going to be located, like amenities, gym, community, blah, blah, blah. And then the added wrench in the whole plan is COVID. And thinking to myself, like, all right, is this community going to be what it was like before COVID ever? Like, or in the time that I'm living here? And it's Florida, so like, they don't really give a fuck. But I don't know. You know, there's a lot to think about and process. So I think that's where my mind's at lately. That's where my mind's at lately, boy. You know? And yeah. My mind is in Florida, but my body's in Chapel Hill. This whole not drinking thing is still going well. It feels good. I feel physically great. I think that going with such a harsh and extreme measure is going to be detrimental in the long term. I think cutting out drinking completely was, I think it's proving to be getting in the way more than it is helping. Because I think that, living alone, working online, and really being forced into very, very little human interaction in my life right now because of COVID and also just the nature of my lifestyle, it makes me really miss and want those social outlets. So to link up with some people and get a drink, or to even just go to a bar and have a beer while I work on stuff on my computer and be in public doing it, like, that sort of thing feels really great. And I kind of miss that. I miss humans, man. I miss having my people. And I talk about this a lot. But it's because it's on my mind a lot. It might be time for a trip, man. I'm due. I think I'm due. It's been about like 4 months since I had 5 months since I had a good trip. And I'm not counting the New York trips to go back home. It wasn't really a vacation. And that's not how I look at going back to my family's house. I don't look at it like a vacation necessarily. That's not really what it is. But I need a week, man. I need a week. I need to go to a tropical destination and be surrounded by dozens of women in hula skirts, hand feeding me watermelon and pineapple and mango and other tropical delicacies. That's what I need, man. I don't know who's going to pay for that. I don't know who's going to buy 24 women to dance around me, but a guy can dream. 2. I'll settle for 2. Forget 24. How about 2? We could even just narrow it down to just mangoes if that's more reasonable. That's fine. But yeah, I think I do need a little bit of a getaway, and I don't know if I think maybe going down to Florida to scope out apartments and cities will be a mix of work and play, little mix of that, little mix of that W and a little bit of that P, and you put it all together and you got that whoop, that whoop. So that'll be nice. When is that happening? I have no fucking clue, man. I got to get some more stuff in order. I got to do some research on the internet first, because I think if let's say you're moving to a new area, right? And you just go and you just get boots on the ground without doing a lot of research and planning out your trip, then you're kind of screwed. I need to plan it out, figure out where I'm going to stay, figure out how many days I want to spend in each place. I need to figure out what I need to extract from each city. And I want to do this methodically. So that's how I feel about Florida. Moving on. March 5th, baby. That's Friday. That's this coming Friday. That's my mom's birthday. That's Mo Money, Less Problems birthday. Birthday. Go, shawty. It's your birthday. So that's kind of cool, man. That's kind of cool. Shout out to Maureen. Shout out to Mo Money, Less Problems. Yeah, man, that woman needs to go to Florida and just enjoy. Retire and just enjoy. When I think about, this is something I talk about a lot on the lives, on the podcast. When I think about my parents, when I think about my grandparents, when I think about people and aging and getting older and growing up and mortality, I think about like, shit, man, what is important? What should we be doing with our time, And I'm still in my 20s, and I feel like there's a lot of life to live for me. There's a lot of life to live for my mom. There's a lot of life to live for people way older than my mom. There's a lot of life to live in general. But I can't help but feel, but like the past couple years, maybe I just haven't been doing it right. And I also think maybe I haven't been in the right place. Maybe I shouldn't have stayed in Chapel Hill. Or maybe everything happened exactly the way it was supposed to. I don't know. I have no fucking clue. But I think when you go down this rabbit hole thinking about mortality and thinking about the risks of being self-employed, and think about when you allow yourself to kind of go into the dark areas of it, you find yourself craving the more traditional life. And I sound like a broken record because I talk about that a lot as well. But I think, something I've experienced is spending time with someone, another human, maybe of your preferred gender, in a more than friends kind of way. But where your connection with this other person maybe isn't quite where you might want it to be. Like maybe you went on a date with someone or you spent the night with somebody and you're attracted to them, but you just know, this isn't really my person. Like, I'm good. Thank you. Next. It leaves you wondering, it's like, how many times can I do this sort of thing with people who maybe I'm just not really that into? And then your mind goes to this place of, okay, well, from now on, we're going to have X, Y, and Z as a standard of how we need to feel about someone before we engage in something like a hookup or a date or whatever. And if so-and-so doesn't meet any of those criteria, then we're just not doing it. And that's good. But then what happens is you run out of your list of people gets smaller and smaller. And as a result of that, and as a result of being strict on your, I guess, standards or criteria, then you go longer and longer sets of time in between dates or hookups or whatnot, or what have you. And that'll drive you fucking nuts, man. That'll drive you fucking nuts, I think. And it'll also warp your perspective. You'll become so desperate for something like that maybe your criteria will loosen up a bit. So that's kind of a constant battle. I don't want to say battle, but it's a constant thing to consider and churn in your brain and think about. Like, all right, if I hook up with someone who I just feel about twice a month, and I don't really feel super fulfilled from that, well, maybe I should stop doing that. But then if I do stop doing that and I only want to hook up with someone that I really feel passionately about, well, then I'm not going to encounter those types of people very often. Because how often do you find someone that you really like, things just fire on all cylinders with? Not very often at all. So I think in my head, what's kind of driving a lot of this move for me to Florida, and this might be silly, is I need to be around my people in a sense. I need to be around people that are more like me. And I think if I position myself in a city that has people who are maybe similarly minded to me, I'm more likely to encounter people within that city who I click with on a deep level in a romantic way, in a dating way, Whereas in Chapel Hill, there's not a single person I've felt that sort of connection with since being here. And I've been here for a year and a half now. Part of it's quarantine, part of it's the location. We'll see, bro. We'll see. I have a lot to think about. And look, we're not going to figure it out in the duration of this podcast. It's okay. I have to do some research, and I feel, what I feel a little bit of right now is it feels a little bit difficult to fully put my mind into the mode of podcasting and TikTok when I'm thinking so much about moving. Yeah, we're going to go to Florida. Shit, we might go tomorrow. I don't know. I'll have to think about this. We'll go soon. We'll go real soon. I just got to get down there, man. I got to get... You know, when I think about this, I think about being on the beach, man. I think about meeting humans. I think about socializing. I just feel so... I feel so quarantined, bro. Like, obviously, we are quarantined. But I feel so freaking quarantined. Like, I need some human interaction, man. I need that again. Ooh, that lime, I'm hitting the lime. It is what it is, doggy dog. It is what it is. That's okay. Yeah, so hey, listen, we didn't really have a theme for this podcast. I kind of just went off on tangents and stuff. I'm sorry for that. But sometimes you gotta roll that way. I completed The Sinner. It's a show on Netflix. It's a good show. Man, I could go on at length about that. I don't know if you guys want me to, but so I watched it season 3, then season 1, then season 2. And you can do that because each season is a completely different case. And it kind of follows a detective Ambrose. And they're in like upstate New York in the fictional town of Dorchester. That's where it kind of like the story's based. And each season he's on a case following kind of a case of somebody, a human, who is involved in some kind of, criminal issue. And he, basically the thing that ties together, I'll just give you guys a synopsis of what the show is all about, is that he encounters this case and the person who the case revolves around, so like season 1, it's this woman named Cora. Basically, the crime that happens is what's presented to you. But the whole season is Detective Ambrose trying to unravel what else is there that we actually don't see to paint the entire picture. So I hope that makes sense. It's a great show. I really enjoy it. It's dark. It's mysterious, and I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's like this amazing, show of the century type of thing, but it's good stuff. It's good stuff, and I would recommend you guys watch it. And I want to, let me talk about this. So I just got 2 messages simultaneously that pretty much both said the same thing, and it was 2 people checking in on me. Shout out to Culinary Ho and shout out to Pandometrax. Just kind of checking in on me and seeing what I'm doing, and they both texted me at the same time. That's really strange. That's funny. But I just fucking love you guys, man. I just want to take a second to say how much I love you too, but just all of you guys in general who check in on me and who care about me and who listen to the podcast and listen to my ramblings. So I'm gonna get back to them in a few minutes. We're gonna go live in about an hour. It's 7:06 p.m. Eastern time right now on Monday. I'm gonna post this podcast now, and then we're gonna go live on TikTok at 8 p.m. I'm going to probably turn up the heat. It's cold, and I don't know if I need to take a little baby cat nap or what. I'm weird, man. Sometimes, hey, my body, if I get tired, I need to sleep on the spot. I think it goes back to me not getting good sleep, man. I got to go to that sleep lab. I got to go to that sleep lab and have them check me out. Because something's up. Something's up. So, hey, it is what it is, doggy dog. But yeah, I would recommend The Sinner. It's on Netflix. It's a good show. I enjoyed it a lot. Hit me up with show recommendations. I really liked it because it's kind of like a mystery. It's like a crime/mystery show, and I really enjoy that. It deals a lot with unraveling stuff, and like more gets revealed, and they show you what happened in the past. And I love shows like that, man. I love that dark, mysterious sort of stuff. So hit me with your recommendations. I'm here. I'll listen. I'll check them out. And big shout out to whoever recommended that show to me in the chat. I forgot who it was exactly, but thank you, because it's a good one. That's called The Sinner. We got 1 or 2 TikToks dropping tonight. More to come this week, of course. Plenty more. I'm gonna try and post 2 a day. And I feel good about that. Some other things that I'm working on are I'm gonna have YouTube videos become more of a part of my routine. I have to plan out a little bit of a schedule for myself. The YouTube content that I make is mostly like Twitch tutorials and stuff, so it might not apply to many of you guys who don't stream. But I have maybe like 6,000 followers on YouTube, and none of those followers are really from TikTok. Like they follow me to see the Twitch tutorials and stuff. So it's weird. I have like different audiences on different platforms. So that's kind of interesting and unique, but it's something I think about a lot. But I'm going to continue posting on YouTube to kind of flesh that out and see where that goes. Cause I do have an audience there, and I do have YouTube money coming in, which is nice. And I want to continue that. OnlyFans. I'm going to make it a goal of mine to get a collab in this month. I would like to do a collab this month. I'm not sure who with yet. There's a couple people who showed interest. We'll see. We will see. But I would like to do a collab. I also have some other stuff I'm going to post. Ashley, you might get your wish. I might post in those jock straps that you sent me. We'll see. We'll see. And yeah, something that you'll see on the TikTok this month is going to be a continuation of mixing in reposts every once in a while, maybe one a week, of 1 or 2 a week of a repost of an old TikTok. It is what it is. It's the nature of TikTok. You got to kind of repost things or repost a different version of basically the same thing, because what works, and I'm not going to get 14 million views on a video and then never post that type of thing again. I'm going to continue to post that if it works. And I think I think you guys all understand that. So if you see a repost, show me some love, watch it, drop a comment. I'm sorry. Don't hate on it. I love you. And yeah, that's how I feel about that, man. So I might paint a nail. I want to paint a nail of mine and play some guitar, man. I'm in such a weird mood. I think the podcast for me is like an acid trip. It's just not an acid trip, but it's just me just rambling about this thing and this thing and this thing and this thing. And it's hard for me to focus on one thing at a time. But hey, it's me, man. I'm sorry. It's me. Do you guys know what dick butt is? I literally just found out about that. It's like a meme. I don't know. Google dick butt. It's the weirdest thing. Good old dick butt. What band have I been listening to lately? L.A.B. L.A.B. They're a Kiwi band, aka they're from New Zealand, which is pretty cool. I like their music. It's a little bit like reggae vibes, and they have some stuff that's not exactly reggae. It's like it fits into different genres. So they're really interesting. I like them. That's the band we're listening to lately. What else is going on in life, man? Look, I spent most of the weekend just relaxing, watching The Sinner. Not really. I was mostly unplugged, so I don't have a whole lot of updates for you guys. Unfortunately, I just took the time to kind of relax and unwind. But I would like to welcome you guys on my journey to finding an apartment down in Florida and finding a city to plant some roots in, and welcome you guys on my journey to take some dance lessons, and maybe play some volleyball, maybe find a place to go line dancing, maybe find a bar to be a regular at, a coffee shop I like. I don't know. I don't drink coffee, but you know what I mean. And I want to bring you guys along on that journey so we can all enjoy it together. That's it, man. I'm tired. I don't know why this made me tired, but it made me tired. I'm going to take a quick little nap. I'm going to try to. We'll see. And I'm looking forward to the stream tonight. I'll see you guys soon. I'm gonna rest my head for like 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna jump back up and change some clothes. And I have to shower. I haven't showered today. The fuck, dude? It's like 7 p.m. See, I made TikToks. I cleaned my room. I did all this stuff, and yeah, now I'm forgetting to shower. So I'm gonna shower, and I'll catch you guys real soon. I'll see you guys on the not on the podcast, on the stream. I love you, Patreons. You're listening to this today. Everybody else, you're gonna listen to this tomorrow, March 2nd. And I love you guys very much. Thank you for supporting me. TikTokChris.com is the website. And man, I'm sorry. I felt a little spacey today. I was expecting Ryan to be here as a guest, but the man got sick. And I say a lot when I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I'm going to work on that. Instead of saying I'm just going to say nothing. I'm going to be like, yeah, so. And then it's going to get quiet. I love you guys. Peace. Chris Petrone Weekly episode. I want to say 27. I'm not really sure. I hope you guys took a nugget out of this, or at least enjoyed listening, man. I'm sorry I didn't have any more wisdom for you, but sometimes it feels like that, man. Sometimes it feels like that. I love you. Peace.